Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Commands with Dragon. We've done a lot of progress today. I'm recording ahead of time just for my intro, so let's get into it. So last time we kind of looked at a crafting recipe in a cauldron. There we go. There's our fire spell. Now this has an ID. Now remember how I said I want it so you can detect it in either offhand, so we're going to have to give the player a tag to detect if they're actually holding this. So I'm going to use a repeat command block for this. So this is going to be a 2-command creation because I want it to be relatively large creation. Let's grab a lever as well, put that here. So we want to detect if this is in our main hand or our offhand, and what we can do is use the selected items tag. So we'll go scoreboard players tag at all, and we'll go add equip fire, for example. And we're going to go selected item, and now we're going to set an ID, Minecraft die, and a damage of, I believe it's 1. Let's check this. 14, well I was way off. 14, and then we need to check if it has this tag, the enchantment tag, of course. Now I believe it was ID, let's take a look. 51 level 200. So let's take a look at this. ID 51 level 200. Now I hope I'm writing this right. Okay, so when it becomes my selected item, it should let me know. Scoreboard players, maybe I have to flick this on. Okay, so there's an error here, which means I've probably got some unbalanced brackets. Okay, so the data tag does not match for Dragon 14. Was I sure about the 51? Okay, so there's a problem. Well, this is a foolish mistake. It's selected item. There we go. So that solves that problem. So now we can detect if it's in my offhand. Now I also want to detect if I'm sneaking. So let's add a new scoreboard for that. We'll just put this aside. We'll go scoreboard, objectives, add. We'll go dark sneak because I've already got heaps and heaps of sneak commands already. Stat.sneak time. There we go. So we'll go... let's think about this. Okay, so I just added this command block here. I just went ahead and did it all. Detects if you have this die in your slot negative 106B, which basically means my offhand. So it's just going to do the same thing, just detecting if that's there. So now I'm just going to quickly look at some lag optimizations. I'm just going to go at all score dark magic min equals 1, just so it doesn't get added constantly when there's no need for it. So let's add that in right there. So that's just some optimizations. It's not essential, but I'd prefer it this way. So now let's look at this result. See, I hold the fire. Well, actually, let's not hold the fire at first, and let's hold down shift. You'll see that nothing happens. But if I equipped this fire spell and hold down shift, you'll see that these armor stands get summoned in. Now these will be killed off very quickly. They're going to have a custom motion to where the player is facing, and they're going to be doing some serious fire damage. So the way this works is if you are sneaking and you have a tag of equip fire, then it's going to summon an iron armor stand called casting fire. Well, that's the tag anyway, and then it's going to set your sneak score to 0 and then remove your equip fire tag immediately. Alright, so I went ahead and did all the motions for the armor stand because that's not fun to do on camera, but I'd say it looks pretty cool. I think they might live a bit too long, so I might just reduce this number, maybe 15. And it's very, very in your face, so I'm going to make this invisible if I can find the command that does that. There we go. Invisible. 1. And yes, I should be firing armor stands now, but the problem is now that they're invisible. So we need to go execute at E, tag equals casting fire, and then we need a particle command. Particle flame, right where they are, 000, with a speed of 0.001 maybe, or maybe 0.1. We'll see how that goes. That looks really, really cool actually. It's kind of hard to see where you're aiming though, so I think I might reduce the speed just a tad. Oh, I'm lagging a bit as well, that's no good. Alright. Now, I'm not sure about you, but I don't think that's really effective enough. And it's very, very hard to tell where you're actually aiming. So I might make this 0.1 again. Actually, I might make it 1. I wish there was a way to stop it from just dispersing everywhere like that because it's kind of annoying. I might have to use a different particle instead. Let's try the lava particle, see how that one goes, because I really want to use particles because I think they're quite an effective method, but at the same time it's quite messy. Oh yeah, and I need to go through how all that motion works. So very long commands actually. That took ages. So it's a tag of dark motion, that's what I've tagged the armor stand as, and its name is not dark motion, DM, and it's executing from a player who's facing a certain direction, and then, so the nearest player, and it's going to set the entity data, so the nearest armor stand, so its custom name is DM now, so it's not going to run again, and it's going to give it a custom motion, and I've done that 16 times for the 16 possible intervals, and then I've added a score of dark motion to it, and it gets killed after 15 ticks. So 0.75 seconds. So now I've added something to the head slot so you can clearly see where everything is going. Now I would have made this a different item and I would have lowered it, but the problem is that the armor stand gets in your face and stuck in the ground and doesn't look that great. So now we are going to add the actual effect to this. So we're going to go execute at e tag equals casting fire, of course, and then we are going to go entity data at e r equals 5, and we're going to go fire maybe 10s. Seems good. So now if we have some creepers on the field, let's put you guys down, and we cast the fire, they should burn. There we go. Okay, so they don't seem to be burning for that long, so we need to change that, of course. Let's go fire 40s, because I think these are in ticks. There we go. Now I really do not like how it's lighting up that armor stand, so I'm going to change this. Tag equals not casting fire, and we're also going to go type equals not item because that will be annoying for items as well. So let's take a look at this. There we go, that looks a lot better. Can we reach that guy over there? And I think r equals 5 is a bit overpowered, so we're going to go r equals 3 instead. And we also want to give some other effects as well, because this is a little bit boring. I mean, it's a very underwhelming spell. I mean, it kind of looks cool, but I think the visuals are a bit off, to be honest, so I might change that. So now I've gone ahead and added the spell for snow now, and I think the particle effect looks pretty nice. It gives a small wither effect from the freezing, but most importantly, it slows down the mob completely, and of course this works in the offhand as well, and it works basically the same as the fire, which is fantastic because we can just keep adding on spells now, because we just keep adding on and adding on. So I'm just going to add one more before we end the episode, but I just want to show you why it should work in the offhand as well. It's because you can dual wield spells now, which is fantastic. We can grab a sword and have one spell in one hand, one spell in the other. So now we can hit at the same time we cast our spells. So let's summarize some of our spells now. To get the ice one, you chuck in regular ice and pack dice to get your ice spell. Whoosh. I might add sound effects actually. And then feather and paper to get a wind spell. Nothing says wind like a feather and some paper. Right, so you have to actually... Oh no, you don't, apparently. Right, I was going to say that you only have to equip one, but two works as well. So the wind one basically brings in mobs and you can expel them again, just like that. There we go. Now, I don't think... Yeah, it can work on a group of mobs as well. The area of effect is quite large, but I don't think it's large enough because it can overshoot some of the mobs, which is a bit of an issue, but that's alright. As you can imagine, it's just teleporting entities towards the armor stands. And that's all I'm going to do for the command at the moment. So by the time you get this video, I might be away, so I might not be able to see or respond to any comments. I'm currently filming this on the 15th of November, and I will be back on the 7th of December. But for now, thanks everyone for watching. I will see you in the next episode. Take care.